We have put so much of our social value on our ability to conquer women. Here's the clip.
Times we get to feel like men is when we bending a woman over.
Yeah,
Other than that, she talking to us crazy.
you're right.
She's disrespecting us in the whole nine. And then on top of that, you could think back to high school, middle school. You could be the dude like that guy because you're the most athletic, or you're the tallest, or you
me.
could fight, or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You know stuff
You're the
about
best
hunting.
basketball player in the
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
And
yeah.
everyone recruiting you.
Or
You're right.
how you could hopscotch that whole thing is you get bitches. So and so can do all this stuff, but he get bitches. He's the leader of the pack. That's how it works. So we have put so much of our social value on our ability to conquer women, and some of us don't even know why we do it. We don't even think about like, oh, I'm trying to prove something to myself. I'm trying to prove something to my friends.
Yeah.
And that's why I got to add another body and another body and another body. And we just end up in that cycle. And for some of us, it leads us into fatherhood. For some of us, it leads us into, crime, whatever the case may be, to position ourselves to get bitches. We were socialized to believe that our ability to conquer women was equivalent to our level of masculinity.
Jeez. I love the way you break it.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We have put so much of our social value on our ability to conquer women. I'm going to go to Marcus White first, and then we go to Nicole.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. I remember it starts early, like at like 12 or 13, you in the barbershop, the first thing they hit you with, you ain't got none yet. You know what I'm saying? They like ridiculing you in the getting it cracking, like right out the gate. And you kind of develop an identity around it. And I feel extreme victim to this, right? So I that feeling when you have like a beautiful woman and you walk into some spot and all the guy like, damn, Joe, I see you, I see you. And it does give you a whole lot of like more social credit, even if you on top of everything else. If you don't walk in with a beautiful woman or you can't get beautiful men looking at you like, yeah, that's cool, but you're not him yet until you like complete that package with something nice or the ability to get something extremely nice that all the other men want. Um, I wish I could say it wasn't true, but maybe it's the way our nature is set up too. So I'm kind of conflicted on how much of that is just our culture and how much of it is like the man's nature to actually desire to want to, like, from the hunter gatherer sense, to actually desire to want to appeal to and attract women to him. It I will say this though. Um, I wouldn't take it back for the one thing that I think relationships and dealing with women are a skill, and in getting to the ability to date or be with multiple women or women, I developed a skill set that I think is it makes my life easier in the long run. So I kind of would like to be of the mind to say that you shouldn't want to go and talk to as many women as possible, but I would feel real hypocritical saying it because when I listen to some of the men talk, the awkwardness or not the ability to not understand nuance or the inability to even see or kind of relate to where she coming so you can actually communicate with her. I kind of think that's part of the reason to blame. So it's like a catch-22 because it's potential that you hurting these women while you're doing it if you're not being honest about whatever's going on when you're talking to them. But at the same time, you don't want to be socially awkward where you can't manage how to talk to a woman and then you're in a position where you're just angry at women. So I'm kind of conflicted. I want to hear the rest of y'all thoughts, and then you can come back to me because I'm probably gonna have some more to add on to this.
Okay, Roger that.
Roger.
Go ahead, Nicole, then we go to Ali.
So, I actually agree with Marcus. I do. I see what path he's going down. I actually like his thought process on that. I was also thinking when I was watching the clip, the whole piece about ego, right? And how a man's ego, um, and how it makes him feel, when he can conquer women, when he can, his ability to talk to women and to say, I can get this type of woman. I can, you know, there's no woman I've heard men say this, there's no woman I can't get, right? So it's an ego thing, right? It feeds the ego. It allows you to feel good about yourself. You feel valuable. You feel like you're highly desirable, right? So when culture, and I do agree, it is part of culture as well, when culture praises it, and from little, you know what I mean, from when you're a little boy all the way up until you're a grown man, when it's praised and it's celebrated, you know, the more women you get, the more of the man you are, you know what I mean, the more. And I know men hate when I say this, but it's really a form of toxic masculinity to me. It really is. And let me say, and I hate using that word. I do, but I do think that it is, because you're teaching a man. To me, when a man teaches a young boy that his value lies in how many women he can talk to, how many women he can smash. To me, you devalue yourself as a man. You're much more than that as a man. But because that's who you are being socially conditioned to be as a part of your masculinity, because it's directly tied to that. And I think if a different culture was taught that you're not tied to how many women you can conquer, I think you would see more committed relationships. I think you would see more marriages. I think you would see certain things change in our society, especially the Black society, because I do feel like it is preached more in the Black community than other communities. Not to say that white communities, because they do it as well, absolutely. But I think it's almost like a toxic cycle to teach a young boy, and then he becomes a grown man. If that's where his value is and that's what has fed his ego, how hard is it to deprogram that out of your psyche, to be able to, now when you're ready to want to, you know what, I don't want to play the field anymore, but you're so socially conditioned to where you want to get as many women as you can because that's what you were taught, right? That's what we're taught. Well, that's what you were taught. So how do you go from that to saying, hey, I want to settle down, I want to be, you know, with one woman, I want to get married, you know, how do you go from being saying that that's part of the social value, and to where now your friends, maybe your family, the men, you know, in your lives look at you like, oh man, you're settling down, oh man, you're getting married, you know what I mean, like what's wrong with you, like you're throwing in the player card, you know, you're getting out of the game. It's almost like you're talked down to when you do want to change the social conditioning to how you've been raised and how you've been brought up your whole life. And so I that's what to me makes it toxic, because now you get to a place to where a lot of times now you want to play the field longer, and so now you're getting married older. Not to say that younger men don't get married, because I believe they absolutely do, but I do think it breeds to where that mindset to where a man does not want to get married, because now he can't have that social value of being able to acquire and conquer, you know what I mean, so many women, if he does turn in his player card and he does commit to one woman and settle down. So that's my
Let
thought.
me try. I appreciate that. So I appreciate where you're going with that. And to try and answer that, I would say this is why I'm conflicted with, is it nature? Because early on, I like felt that drive, right? It was like, now it was social conditioning, but it also was an internal drive. As I got older, like 25, 30, I felt it decrease, right? So I could transition into the next phase of my life. So I'm not sure if it's just the social programming or it's just so much in our nature that it can override nurture with that.